Labour is about to make a heartless decision that will leave many of the UK's pensioners out in the cold, literally. The proposed cut to the winter fuel allowance is set to affect some of the most vulnerable in our society. And for what? A meagre £1.3 billion in savings that barely makes a dent in the government's financial mess. Despite their majority, up to 50 Labour MPs are reportedly struggling with this vote, with many being urged to simply abstain rather than oppose. But let's be clear, abstaining is as good as saying yes. It's political theatre, an empty gesture to ease their consciences while doing nothing for pensioners who'll be left to bear the brunt of this reckless decision. The government claims tough choices must be made, but how tough is it really when they're cutting essential support for the elderly while continuing to throw billions at pointless projects like HS2? Starmer wants to look like a tough guy, blaming Tory mismanagement for forcing his hand. But the truth is, he's making decisions that will hit those least able to afford it. Let's not forget, this isn't a government on solid footing. Starmer may have a majority, but his approval ratings are abysmal. Far from the public support Tony Blair had in his early years, Starmer's popularity is crumbling, with only 23% approval compared to Blair's 68% at the same stage. And now, Labour is on the verge of alienating its core supporters with cuts that don't align with its supposed values. Starmer talks about stopping waste, yet this cut won't even make a significant impact on the so-called £22 billion black hole in the Treasury. It's just another misguided move that shows how out of touch his government has become. Instead of fixing prisons, hospitals or schools, they've targeted pensioners, many of whom depend on this payment just to stay warm through the winter. If Labour wants to prove they're on the side of working people, this is a disastrous way to show it. Cutting support for the elderly, all while wasting money elsewhere, only reveals a government more interested in tough talk than in real solutions.